Hi, everybody. My name is Rob Petrizzo, and I'm the Senior Director of Data Analytics at the Department of Youth and Community Development. And I'll be introducing the agency and then pitching my own project. I first want to thank everyone for being here today. We've already heard a lot of great projects, and I'm excited to hear all the others we have the rest of the day. So the New York City Department of Youth and Community Development invests in a network of community-based organizations and programs to alleviate the effects of poverty and to provide opportunities for New Yorkers and communities to flourish. DYCD strives to improve the quality of life of New Yorkers by collaborating with local organizations and investing in the talents and assets of our communities to help them develop, grow, and thrive. So DYCD is responsible for the contracting and management of multi-million-dollar youth and adult-centered programming that serves upwards of hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers each year. These programs include employment development services, after-school programming, and community building initiatives. So going off of that, as I just mentioned, one of DYCD's goals is to improve the economic impact of New York City youths. And one thing we're trying to answer is, does it go beyond just the economic impact? So we host a number of work development programs, and we're trying to see if this also has an effect on college enrollment. So at DYCD, we run the Summer Youth Employment Program, SYEP, which is the nation's largest youth employment initiative, which offers work experience to 100,000 young people across New York City every year. And more than 60% of those participants are of high school age, so sophomores, juniors, and seniors who are at a critical decision point in their educational trajectory. A lot of them are getting to the point or at the point where they're deciding whether or not to pursue higher education or not. Work, Learn, and Grow is a year-round extension of SYEP that's available to a subset of these SYEP participants. And DYCD, we've been partnering with NYCPS and CUNY to intentionally incorporate college courses that are credit bearing into SYP and WLG programs. It's led to a positive in-program results. Over 20,000 youth have received college credit through DYCD. And enrollment and retention in the programs have grown over the years. So the question that we're trying to answer is, does participation in SYP and WLG positively impact college enrollment and or persistence? So we're trying to see if participating in our SYP WLG programs leads to a higher rate of enrolling in college, retaining college, pursuing and attaining an associate's degree and or a bachelor's degree. Outcomes, we're trying to quantify the relationship between participating in SYP or WLG and the future college enrollment and persistence. Resources at DYCD, we have an extensive database of all of our enrolled participants, including demographic data, geographic data, as well as other data points that measure things like engagement and such, hours in the program, and whatnot. On top of that, there's National Student Clearinghouse data that will tell which participants enrolled in higher education, what they enrolled in, and whether or not they received a degree. And finally, we are seeking a research partner with expertise in workforce and educational research and a passion for economic mobility. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Zaquana Stevens, but everyone calls me Z. I work for DYCD in the Runaway and Homeless Youth Division in a role that was actually created by young people with lived experience. And that matters deeply to me because I experienced youth homelessness myself for 7 years. 7 years of surviving one emergency at a time. What I learned is this: most young people do not become homeless because they failed. They become homeless because they ran out of margin. Sometimes homelessness starts with something as small as a Metro card, or an unpaid phone bill, or groceries, or childcare, or a security deposit. We tend to imagine homelessness as one massive catastrophic event. But for young people, it's usually a series of tiny financial emergencies that snowball faster than they can recover from, and one that starts to spiral into a cost that becomes enormous. not just emotionally, financially, to shelters, to healthcare systems, to emergency services, to government. So I want you to picture this. A young person gets a job interview in another borough, but they can't afford transportation, they miss the interview, now they can't pay their portion of the rent. Now there's a conflict at home, now they leave, and now they're couch surfing, now they're in shelter. $100 became homelessness, and that's the gap we're trying to close. Our proposal is the Homelessness Prevention Flex Funds Pilot, HPFF. It's a simple and powerful idea that what if we trusted young people enough to intervene early, before crisis, before shelter, and before survival mode? This pilot would provide flexible cash assistance paired with existing wraparound services to stabilize youth before small problems become life-altering ones. And we're not just asking if this feels good, we're asking if it works. Can flexible funds improve housing stability, employment, education, mental health, and long-term outcomes for youth? And just as importantly, can prevention save the city money? Because if a few $100s can prevent months or years of system involvement, then the smartest investment we can make may be upstream. I spent 7 years surviving homelessness, and today I work inside government helping redesign systems I once had to survive. That's the power of investing in young people early. And I leave you with this. Young people do not need to be fixed. Sometimes they need enough stability to keep going. And when we fund prevention instead of waiting for crisis, we don't just change outcomes, we change futures. If our pitch is chosen, we have a funding agency that would be willing to match. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian Schroeder, Senior Director of Analytics and Performance Management for DYCD. And as you've heard from Rob and from Z so far, DYCD funds a variety of services across New York City. And each program has its own expectations around the enrollment, and each program model has specifications about the type of services and what quality looks like for that program. Our own program managers then visit the programs for monitoring of quality and coaching with the providers. DYCD historically looks at that monitoring of quality at the individual program level and at the CBO level, but we would like to expand more into being able to look geographically to see the quality there. Part of that is that part of DYCD's commitment in the city's racial equity plan is to prioritize those neighborhoods that can most benefit from DYCD services. And it's not enough just to fund in the right neighborhoods. It's also important that those are quality services and that programs are serving the communities that they are located in. So with that, what we're wanting to look at is whether enrollment success and the quality of services varies across geography. And if so, are there common characteristics of those neighborhoods for high-performing providers and lower-performing providers? Ultimately, we want to be able to identify, are there things that we can learn from those neighborhoods that have high-performing providers? And also, are there interventions that we can make in neighborhoods that could use more quality of services? So with this project, we're able to have data on the geography of the programs, those program quality monitoring by our program managers, the expectations and the actual enrollment, as well as demographics in our programs, and able to link to population level data for the neighborhoods. We can offer staff time from my team in analytics, the evaluation team, and from the program teams as well to help round out the information. So we're looking for researchers with expertise on human services, program evaluation, and GIS to be able to take this expanded into the geography. Thanks.
Morning, everyone. My name is Sherman Oliveira, and I'm the Director of Community Action Programs at DYCD. I'm here to present this morning on behalf of the Economic Development Program that we have, which focuses on increasing economic opportunity through small business startup assistance, employer education, job creation within neighborhood development areas across New York City. The Economic Development Program has been in operation since fiscal year 2023 currently, and there's an expected release of an RFP in fiscal year 2028. The Economic Development Program currently has 7 contracts across New York City. We have communities in the Bronx, such as West Farms, East Tremont, Longwood. We have in Brooklyn, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Cypress Hills, East New York, Crown Heights, and we have a program in Washington Heights in Upper Manhattan. The requirements for the core activities of the Economic Development Program are small business startup and development counseling, employer education, education and training, career counseling, and internship. Participants achieve an outcome in these several ways. One is an individual or a small business would gain skills for starting, developing, or maintaining their business. A second would be a job would be created to increase opportunities within that community. And a third job would be maintained in that small business within that community. We have some research questions and time constraint. I'm going to mention 2. How do participants' income level, employment status, and financial stability changes over multiple years after engaging with the support of the Economic Development Program? And another one is the Economic Development Program emphasized technical assistance and job creation. But what if the core barriers isn't skills or knowledge, but structural constraints such as credit systems, licensing, childcare, immigration status? How does these barriers change the program priorities? For resource, DYCD has few information, quality information, I should make that, program access across those communities that I mentioned, participants data, provider survey, CBO partnership collaboration, and the whole program is overseen by the Roma evaluation process and systems, okay? We're seeking research partners with experience and expertise in community economic development, entrepreneurship support, workforce equity, and preferably experience evaluating anti-poverty and neighborhood empowerment-focused strategies. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, how are we? My name is Nicole Vogt. I am with the Neighborhood Strategies Unit at DYCD. And I've only got 2 minutes, so I'm going to dive right on in. Have you ever stopped to think about what it actually takes to connect communities across the city to meaningful resources, opportunities, and services? 3 years ago, we made a commitment. We made a commitment to foster community connection to the city, throughout the city. And by doing that, we're going into the community and we're talking about our free DYCD programming. Last year, our borough-based engagement team, we coordinated 185 events. I'm going to let that sink in. 185 events. To date, this year, we have already surpassed that number, and we haven't even hit June. June is our busiest month. We are going to be out in the community, and June is a-coming. Our impact is high, but our operational processes, a logistical nightmare. There are so many logistics involved. We need to coordinate with the host, confirm date, time, site. We need to find staff within DYCD. Many times it's all hands on deck, one DYCD. We need to track these systems as well. You get the idea. But here's the fun part. What we want from you is to design and implement an automated workflow that will have a personal touch to centralize outreach and our tabling requests, and really honestly strengthen our presence and engagement within the community. We're in 2026, and automation is totally a thing. So I know, I saw the looks around the room when I used the word nightmare, but have no fear. We are not starting from scratch. There is a glimmer of hope. We have a Visio. We have a beautiful visual workflow. We have our procedure written down. We have documents. So ultimately, this is a project about building smarter systems. We need you so that we can share out our resources, our free DYCD programming to youth, to families, to the aunties, to the uncles, to the sons, to the daughters. We want to spread that awareness. And in order to do that, we're looking for an automated system so that we can have a bigger presence out in the community. This way we can work effectively and continue to scale up and out. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, really? That's what we got? Good morning, everyone. So my name is Tarsha Black. I am the Citywide Borough Manager and Faith-Based Liaison with the Department of Youth and Community Development. And yes, that is a mouthful. So did you know, are we any Brooklyn people out here? All right, come on, Brooklyn. Do you know there are 44 DYCD programs right out these doors in 10-minute walk? That is awesome for us because these programs, as my colleague just said, provides free programming for the community, for the programs that we discussed that we want to have here. So these have small businesses, faith-based institutions, cultural spaces, and neighborhood anchors. This is so important for us because our programs like Open Streets, I don't know if you're still here, and food insecurities, these are the assets that we need to know about. Unfortunately, for me to find out about that information, I had to look at multiple different data sets to pull that information together. What I would love to do, or what we would love to do, is actually work with someone who wants to help us pull these streams of information together so we could push a button. So we don't have to spend more time looking for how do we find out where's the food, where's the culture, where's the people that need support. We can just push a button and then be able to go into the community and be able to help the people. So we would love someone who can help us build a holistic, user-friendly platform that we can push a button and be able to see where everything is for our community and for our New Yorkers. And where are the supports, the older adult centers? Where are the supports for food insecurity, for housing? We want to be able to see that at a push of a button so that when we go into the communities, providing empowerment for them, we can just connect the assets. I think I did everything, but I just want to say again, we definitely would love someone to help us create an innovative tool to allow us to be able to make these connections. So it's like a heat map that we can just pull back the layers and see the richness of New York. Thank you.